So this video is just going to take the user of TBC through some basic area measurements and how to mark these on the drawing. So often when people are taking area measurements, the extents are already partially defined by existing line work. And that's what we've got here. When we want to take some area measurements off this road, the road extents are already defined to the left and to the right. We just need to add extra lines to actually define which chainages we're interested in. So to do that, I'm just going to go to CAD and I'm going to define a polyline. And I'm just going to basically select the edge of the road here. And we're going to say from chainage 167679. And we're interested in getting an area from there. And then I can just right click and choose new. And then we can go down and we can define. I've actually got the wrong point there. So escape, do that one again. So snap onto the outer line to the outer line. And then we might want to have another area further up. So we might just do another great polyline here. And we'll just go from there to there. So these are maybe two areas that we would just want to get area calculation done. So a very useful tool is this track region, and we can basically just give the region a name. So we can just say, I'm just going to call this one area 1. And then we can define some existing lines. Now they don't even necessarily need to be to meet perfectly, but we can just say, and I'm just holding Control down and I'm selecting that these 4 areas here define the extents of that area. And then I can give it a tolerance. So for instance, say they don't meet by 1 meter, then I can give it a tolerance of 1 meter. Here I'm going to leave it 20 mil. And then we just need to define whether it's an inner boundary or an outer boundary. So we just select the inside and we can see that that's now being created and the region is 161.1 meters. So that has now been defined. So what we now have here is if I select there, we have a line string that defines that entire area. So if we now want to do the area for the next, then we can just select the polyline again, and then we select the outer line here, and then we select the outer line here, and this line here, and once again we just choose track region, and we can call this one area 2 and an interior point, and once again we have an area calculated. So we've got these areas. We can see at any time that when we click in these areas, so we just click in the line string area 1, and we can see that the area and the perimeter length is actually recorded as part of the properties of that line string. Now what we can also do is we can just go to the drafting tool and we can actually do a Polygon Label table, and we can just go back here and we can change the style if we wanted to, but I'll just call this one areas. Let's have a look at the styles. So we'll just say new, and that's all fine. So we can see that we've got name, perimeter and large area for that. And we could also add in some defined attributes, but that's all okay. So we can just call this one areas. We can choose a layer, we can choose that, and then we can actually just dump in where the table's going to sit. And then it's just asking us which areas we want to report. So we can grab this one here and this one here, and Polygon Label style, we'll just leave that one as new. And this is basically just going to put the label actually inside the polygons as well. And we can just choose to add that. So what we have here is the area is now written to the table, but we also have the areas actually written to the actual areas themselves. We can move these out if we wanted to. We can move the text around if we wanted to. We can move the table around if we wanted to, just selecting it. So we can select the text here, and we can move it out, and we can select the text here and move it out, and then we can move the table around as well if we wanted to. And we can also change the scale of this table. What we can also do is, if we wanted to create some hatching, then we can just go to the create hatch command. I'm just going to choose to maybe this area here, and I'm going to use the zigzag pattern with a scale of 6. I can preview it. If I'm happy with that, I can hit apply. And then the other one, we could try something like the grating. I'm just going to select this one. And again, we can just hit apply. And that probably looks too large a scale, so we could change the scale if we wanted to, just by going back in here, and we can say, okay, change the scale to 20 or even to 30. So we can update it even after we've applied it. So that's basically a quick overview on how to take areas off Trimble Business Centre directly. Obviously, for tidiness, a lot of the time this is done in a working drawing. So for tidiness, a lot of the time we'd want to put these areas. So the areas themselves, the line string defining the areas, the hatching, and the table, all to a nice tidy layer that would just hold just the areas, so we can turn them on and off as we go. But as I say, that's a quick overview on how to do areas, take areas off a Trimble Business Centre project with existing lines.